There's something your brain does automatically when someone attracts you, and you can't control it. Right now, someone you know could be deeply interested in you, and they've trained their body for weeks so you never notice. This isn't a vague hunch. These are measurable signals studied by psychologists that almost nobody knows how to read in time. And this matters more than it seems. Hiding attraction isn't rare. It's one of the most common things in the world. Fear of rejection outweighs the urge to confess something, so the brain builds an almost perfect performance. The problem is the body has its own circuits, and those circuits don't always obey. Tiny signals leak through that the conscious mind can't shut off. Thousands of stories never begin because both people master that performance at the same time. Today, we'll show you 6 real signals that give away someone who's trying to hide what they feel. Pay attention because right now, you could be living one of them without knowing it. The first signal is called the chameleon effect, and it happens with zero conscious control. A classic study by psychologists Chartrand and Barg found that people automatically mimic the gestures of someone they're attracted to. They cross their arms if you cross yours. They touch their own hair seconds after you touch yours. They lower their voice if you lower yours first. They don't do it on purpose. It happens in a part of the brain that never passes through the rational filter. So next time you talk to someone, watch if your posture repeats in theirs with a few seconds of delay. But there's an even harder signal to fake, and it doesn't depend on any visible gesture. The second signal is in the eyes, and it's almost impossible to simulate. When something attracts you, your pupils dilate in under a second, and you can't stop it. It's a response from the autonomic nervous system, the same part of the body that controls heart rate or sweating, something willpower can't reach. That's why nonverbal communication experts consider this signal more reliable than any words. So before you doubt someone, look calmly into their eyes and ask yourself a simple question. Is the room just dim, or do you mean more to them than you think? And if you thought you'd already seen every signal the body can give, wait until you hear about one that doesn't even need eye contact. The third signal is in the feet, literally. Body language experts explain that a person's torso and feet point toward whatever truly interests them, even when their face looks distracted talking to someone else. You could be in a group of 10 people and notice that someone's feet stay angled toward you the whole time without their conversation giving anything away. It's one of the least known signals and one of the hardest to fake on purpose because almost nobody thinks about controlling their own feet. But there's another signal that doesn't come from the body, it comes from the mouth, and almost nobody connects it to attraction. The fourth signal is exaggerated laughter. Psychologist Robert Provine, an expert on the science of laughter, found that we laugh far more around someone we're attracted to, even when the joke barely lands. Laughter works as a social signal of interest, almost like an invitation disguised as humor. So if someone celebrates your weakest jokes like they're brilliant, it's not just politeness, it's a disguised way of saying they want to keep listening to you. And there's still one more signal hiding in something you use hundreds of times a day without thinking, your own voice around that person. The fifth signal is a subtle shift in tone of voice. Multiple studies on communication and attraction show that people unconsciously change the tone and pace of how they speak around someone they like. The voice can turn softer, slower, or simply different from how they talk to everyone else. If you know someone well, you can probably notice that difference right away without being able to explain why it sounds different. And the last signal might be the quietest of all, because it doesn't happen in front of you, it happens later, when you're no longer even there. The sixth signal is selective memory. When something sparks strong attraction, the brain releases dopamine, and dopamine improves how we store memories. That's why someone might remember weeks later a tiny comment you made without giving it any importance, something you don't even recall saying. It's not coincidence or a generally good memory, it's emotional attention that switches on specifically around you. And that exact chemical reaction leads us to the most important fact in this whole video. Here's the fact you'll probably repeat tonight. Attraction isn't just an abstract feeling, it's a measurable neurochemical event. Neuroscience studies show that falling for someone activates the same brain regions linked to addiction, while at the same time reducing activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thought and self-control. So when someone genuinely likes you, they literally think worse in those moments. That's not a romantic phrase, it's what an MRI scan actually shows. So next time someone mimics your gestures, looks at you with dilated pupils, points their feet toward you, laughs too hard at your weakest jokes, shifts the tone of their voice, or remembers a detail you never thought mattered, you'll already know what's really going on behind that performance. Did you recognize any of these signals in someone you know? Tell us in the comments which one surprised you the most. If this video helped you understand something you couldn't explain before, leave us a like and share it with whoever needs to see it. And subscribe to the channel because in the next video we keep uncovering what your brain hides when it comes to love.